Shit, yeah, I don't have any news, by the way. Hello, party people, and welcome to Glassjaw Nerds, episode 8. Sorry we've been away. We've been trying to figure out some... It's 9?
Episode 9.
Holy shit. No, it's 8.
No, it's 9.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know what? We're about to find out. Sorry we've been away for a little bit. We've been trying to figure out just a better way to promote this podcast, a better way to get it out to people, and talking possible different release days for it. And
Well, yeah, we're still in the early process of this whole YouTube shenanigans, and we're still trying to figure out kind of how we're going to be doing stuff. So, yeah.
it's episode 8.
Well, oh, well, all right. I look like an idiot.
No, you don't. It's okay.
You know, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Anyways, I'm
Anyway.
Mike.
And I'm Luke. Oh my God, we haven't even done that
Yeah.
part yet. I'm sorry. I'm Lucas. This is Mike.
Holy
You guys
moly.
know, if you're listening to this episode, you probably have listened to some episodes before, and if not, go listen to those other episodes. They're pretty good.
They're all pretty good. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too.
I'm a fan, and I am completely biased. But
Why do you have
whatever.
an erection?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Hey, Mike, I got some news for you.
What?
Yeah.
Let's
You
do
would
it.
have known. News. We got big news, actually. So Disney Plus Day came, and I was telling you about it. I sent you all the clips from it that were important.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, there was the Lightyear one and stuff, but that doesn't really pertain to this podcast. Either way.
I don't really care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look good to me.
We already had Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, and that
And
was
that
supposed
was
to be him.
the bomb.
That was the bomb. That was
That
a
was
really
a
good
great, underrated show. So,
show. All right. So, Disney Plus Day. The one I'm most excited about is Moon Knight.
yes.
Yes. I've actually been rereading all of Moon Knight. I got to the Bendis run recently, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this.
Nah, Moon Knight has been one of those, like, really underrated, like, low-key Marvel characters for a long time. And I think he's going to hit the zeitgeist right as his type of character is going to be really popular.
It's supposed to, leaks are saying it's coming out in February, so
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited for Oscar Isaac to play it.
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping that it eventually leads to the Reign of Khonshu from the comics. I think I've told you about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he like goes and steals a bunch of the Avengers' powers and like basically brings about the end of the world. It's awesome. Good times. All right, so She-Hulk also is one I'm excited for.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm glad that Bruce Banner is going to be like an actual character in it.
Yeah.
I'm also excited for Miss Marvel. And if anyone believes Miss Marvel's still coming out in 2021, I know in the leaker community, everyone's like, oh, it's still coming in 2021. No, it's not.
No.
This show is not coming out yet.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical about this one because they've kind of changed their powers too.
It's a little bit. It's instead of being embiggening, it's almost like constructs.
Yeah, which I hate.
Fair enough.
Because, like, I don't like. I mean, look, Green Lantern's my favorite DC character, so I love the idea of constructs. I think it's a cool concept. But that's why not just keep her powers what they were?
Like the embiggening and stuff.
Yeah, like,
I think it would come off as silly looking with the CG and stuff.
it's comic books.
Yeah, right? Like-
Literally, the fucking main villain of the last goddamn things was this giant purple guy with a weird, like, quadruple chin. Like,
A
this is
nutsack
comic
chin.
books. It's silly. Like, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
point.
And it kind of also, like, in the trailer, I don't know if you watched it or not. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you,
Yeah.
too. She's dressed up in Captain Marvel's costume, which is a big point in her comic books, is that, like,
Yeah,
she
she's, like-
transforms herself into looking like Carol
Yeah.
Danvers so that, because she doesn't think as a brown Pakistani girl that she's going to be accepted as a superhero. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're leaning towards that a little bit, but I agree. I think that, I don't know exactly what it is. They're calling it, like, the Chrysalis powers or something. I don't know. It's basically the same thing as embiggening, except it's crystals.
Boo. Not a fan.
Not a fan at all. Okay.
I want them to just keep it.
Hawkeye. Oh, sorry.
I just want them to keep it what it was. Like, stop.
Yeah, I won't
Like,
lie.
this is a dumb change. And the MCU does not do a lot of dumb changes.
I
They
hope-
change a lot of stuff, but not a lot of dumb changes.
I-
This is a bad move, in my
I
opinion.
really, really hope that they explain it, like the reason for the change, obviously, in a good way. That's what'll make it solid or not.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least. All right, moving on. Hawkeye released to May reception. No, it's pretty good. Have you watched it yet?
No.
I will solidly give the first episode a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
It was interesting.
The thing is that I don't know. This is one thing that I've been kind of at odds with a lot of like MCU fans.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were like, I want a Black Widow movie. Give us a Black Widow movie. Black Widow movie. Black Widow movie. And I'm like, she's just a lady with guns. Like, it's not interesting. And then they got a Black Widow movie, and they're like, oh my God, it's kind of boring.
And and they wasted Taskmaster on Black Widow.
Yeah, I'm like, you're in a war. Like, this is like a thing that like I feel like people don't fully understand about like filmmaking and stuff is that like you have to have a balance of power in a lot of ways. Like, okay, you're in a universe with Thor,
who's a literal
god, and you have Spider-Man, you have the Guardians of the Galaxy with the Infinity Stones. You have Wanda who can literally warp reality by accident.
Same with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then you're gonna make a movie that is basically a spy thriller, which is fine.
Yeah,
and that's actually a good idea.
And they did it with Winter Soldier.
They did it with Winter Soldier, and it was better with Winter Soldier. The thing is that like Black Widow, it's like this is a character who inherently has not like even above average powers. She's just a lady with a gun. Like,
sorry, I laughed thinking Lady in Red Room.
Yeah, but like I mean, it's just, and this is the thing with Hawkeye. It's like what do you do with a character
who shoots arrows?
Like, ironically enough, this is the one thing where I think DC did like a better job than Marvel's done with Green Arrow, the show. Yeah. Which, look, it's not great. It's CW stuff, whatever. But in the context of the universe, Oliver Queen.
A little bit when you said CW.
Well, yeah, but in the context of the universe, Oliver Queen was basically what Batman was in like the 90s and stuff. Yeah. He's like I remember like the crossover events, which were always a little rough, but like the Dominators were attacking, and he's all like, "I'm gonna do it with a fucking bow and arrow. What am I gonna do?"
Yeah, right.
We have Supergirl and the Flash. I don't need to be the powerhouse of the Cell here. I could just fucking be the guy who's coordinating because I have experience in that in like tactics and shit.
Yeah, which is what Batman does in the Justice League. So, like, let him do that.
At least what he used to do. And like with
Hawk, he's like, "Oh, I just don't want to hurt you guys.
I'm gonna put on.
We can't date Wonder Woman.
Suit.
We can't date Wonder Woman. I know you're one of the most powerful beings.
The Riddler might use her against me.
Yeah, the Riddler might get you and use you against me.
What? I do love how the animated Justice League show, like they did that arc where she's like, "Why can't we date?" He's like, "My enemy's ever new," and she like crushed like a steel bar. She's like, "I think I'll be fine, Bruce."
Yeah, right.
Like she's. It's like, how dumb.
So what am I? Just a booty call to you?
Yeah,
I'm like a fucking goddess.
It's like, bruh, the most powerful character like villain you have is Bane, who is like maybe twice as strong as the average human is. But like seriously, there is an issue, and they did it in the animated show a little differently, where basically Bane beat the shit out of Batman, and then Batman got Superman to dress up as Batman and
beat him up.
Yeah. And he's like, just so that people were like, "Oh, okay, the mysticism is back. We're scared of Batman." It's like, and it wasn't even hard. Superman was just like, "Oh, I guess I'll just fucking whip the shit out of this dipshit for 10
I'll
seconds.
I'll smack him one time with
and
one
just
of my
obliterate
fingers.
his entire body." Yeah, no, fucking stupid. But like, that's the thing. It's like Hawkeye is not. He's a guy with a bow and arrow.
Like, yeah, see, but that's actually why I started liking Hawkeye. Is that line in Age of Ultron? He's like, "We're in a flying city. There's robots everywhere. I have a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
none of this makes sense."
That's I don't know. Like, I guess like my thing is I would like them to start leaning into the more fantastical side of stuff. Like, I want to see more with Wanda. I want to see the X-Men. I want to see the Fantastic Four. I want to see.
Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, and that's basically just two dudes. I mean, I know that Bucky's kind of a super soldier, but yeah, it was fucking amazing.
So I guess if you do it right, like, and I'm willing to give Hawkeye a chance.
Yeah.
But there is like a level of like.
Well, they're setting up. Do you mind if I give you a small spoiler?
Sure.
I know you haven't watched it. So episode 2 I give that a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
It was amazing. Kate Bishop was comic fucking accurate with her wit, and her like, I'm the funny, like, and I know the series is just setting her up to be the next Hawkeye, but nonetheless, they introduced the Tracksuit Mafia and stuff from the comics, and then they're setting up Echo to be the big bad, or at least the leader of the Tracksuit Mafia so far. I haven't watched episode 3 yet. I haven't had a chance. And I know they're leaning into Kingpin. I was going somewhere with this and I forgot what it was.
Bringing
but-
D'Onofrio back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
But from what I heard, and there's a leak on this. The picture was fake, but the leak is that he's gonna be Wilson the Mountain Fisk,
Okay.
like fucking
Yeah.
huge, and then like small ass head. Which, you know what? I'm fucking here for it. If
Yeah.
they go all out like that, yes, bring me the Mountain Fisk. And the reason that I really want Vincent D'Onofrio back is because he has stated multiple times he wants his version of Kingpin to be the Kingpin that fights Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
Which
No, Vincent D'Onofrio is like one of the best actors of his generation. He was,
Yeah.
and they got him for basically nothing on a Netflix original show. Which
oh yeah.
back in when they were doing a Netflix original show was like a CW level production almost. Like
Yeah, but they were still good. They're better than
yeah,
that.
they became like that's the
Yeah.
thing is those shows are what led to things like Stranger Things and shit like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
which is fucking fantastic.
Daredevil season, all 3 seasons are fucking
Yeah.
amazing. And
So
I'm really excited for him. I just want them to do that Spider-Man thing from Civil War where like he goes and like bitch smacks the shit out of Kingpin
Yeah.
in front of his wife and is like, "This is me not holding back. If I wanted to, I could kill you
Yeah.
in a minute." It's
grabs
like,
him by his chest fat.
yes.
Like,
like literally. I have one more piece of news.
hell yeah.
Pretty small, but No Way Home has now passed Endgame in terms of ticket sales by like 20%.
That's not surprising.
That's not surprising at all.
Because like the thing is, look, let's be real. Endgame is a fan film, basically.
Oh yeah, it's a huge fan service.
Like it's like because I don't know. Like I feel like a lot of people who are like, "Oh, Endgame isn't even a good movie." It is a good movie relatively.
yeah, the plot is decent for what it is.
Yeah, it's like
it's a fun romp.
like this is the thing that I always have, and I usually use this in an argument with like the Star Wars films. It's like you could like individual films, like in the prequels, or,
Yeah.
if you're a psychopath, and like you can like individual films in the sequel trilogy. But the problem is that okay, like
if you're a sociopath.
yeah, no, like I have more sympathy for the sequel trilogy than I do the prequels. The prequels are just fundamentally bad movies.
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
George Lucas is a bad filmmaker. I guess.
Let's
Like,
be real. The first one and the third one are pretty good if you take out some of the writing, and then the second one is unwatchable.
the second one is the worst.
You watch
Star
it
Wars
to
film.
see Jango Fett get his head cut off, and then you put that shit away
Yeah,
forever.
and now we have YouTube. Just
Yeah,
watch
exactly.
it on
Just
YouTube.
watch those scenes.
The 30 seconds. But like with the Star Wars sequels, right? Like you can like any of those films
Oh yeah,
individually.
yeah.
I really only like the Force Awakens.
I like all 3 for moments.
But like there are moments in Last Jedi I like. Rise of Skywalker was rough. Like I just didn't really care for that movie.
We disagree on this so much. I'm not gonna lie.
But the thing is as a whole,
yeah,
like you can't look at The Last Jedi as because a lot of people I know who are like, well, you'd like it if you saw it as just a standalone film.
yeah,
That's fine, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's part of it's the second part of this 3-act structure. It'd be like if the Lord of the Rings films, which are
it was just
love-
Fellowship of the Rings. and
Fellowship
then
of the
fucking
Ring
Return
is
of the King.
amazing. Return of the King is amazing, and Two Towers is awful, which it's not. I love all 3
Yeah.
of those movies. They're masterpieces in my
Yeah.
opinion. But if they were to be bad, it would, or if Fellowship of the Ring,
Yeah,
awesome. Two Towers, amazing. Return of the King, poopy diaper ass. Then it would kill the whole series
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like you didn't stick the
Entirely.
landing, and that's part of like the thing with the Endgame. It's like it's not a 3-act structure. It's like a whatever.
it's basically the 4th, 5th, and 6th act of Infinity War.
Yeah, and so you have to look at it in the context of the overarching story that's being told
Yeah.
in the series. It works as a film for that. Yeah, because if you're like, oh, it's a standalone film, it makes no fucking sense. Yeah, because it's like the 25th film in the series. Like,
Yeah, no shit, it's not
Yeah.
gonna make any sense. It was meant to be the biggest crossover of all time. Guess
Yeah.
what it was?
the biggest,
crossover of all time.
However-
except for Super Sentai when all of the Rangers came back. But anyway, still
Yes.
biggest crossover. Of
I
all
will
time.
say this though. I thought No Way Home as a film was a better movie, pound for pound, than Endgame.
You mean Infinity War?
Well, Infinity War was better than both
No
of
Way
them.
Home has. Are you saying it's going to be a better movie?
Oh,
than
no.
Endgame?
What's the fucking
Far From Home?
Far From... Because you said Far From Home is surpassed...
No, in
Oh.
No Way Home has.
Oh, No Way Home. Okay, yeah.
With like pre-sale tickets, it's estimated to do like I think like $600 million opening weekend.
Again, not surprising. Far From Home, I think, is better as a film probably
I
than
love Far
Endgame.
From Home. So many people dislike it, and I'm like, I
I
don't know
get
how.
it. It's fine.
Yeah, the
Like,
Mysterio fight at the end. holy
Yeah.
shit.
Like the thing is that like when you're
Peter being
looking
like,
at,
you can't hurt me anymore. It's like, oh yes,
Yeah.
or can't trick me anymore.
but I think No Way Home's gonna be a lot better
I do
than all of them. Like I think it might be the best. Like I still want to see Shang-Chi. I've been so lazy.
Listen
and-
here, Shang-Chi. I would say it's only the third Marvel movie I would rank 10 out of fucking 10.
Yeah.
It's
I heard it's really good.
It's so good. I watched Shang-Chi last week. I was actually supposed to wait for Mike because he was going to come over the next day and watch it with me. And he got caught up, which didn't matter, though, because I watched it the night before because I wanted to watch it twice. And it is so good. I'm sure most of you guys have seen it now. It's on Disney Plus now. You got to watch it. The fight scenes are immaculate. The lead character, I can't remember what his name is in real life. I apologize, but like the guy that's playing Shang-Chi, he is phenomenal. I mean, the guy that plays the Mandarin, like
Yeah.
that, chef
Well,
kisses all around.
But see,
bro.
but this is the thing too. It's like obviously I want to see the X-Men because I'm
Yeah.
an X-Men fanatic, and
Sorry, I thought about something. I'll tell you after you go.
yeah, I want to see a Fantastic Four, mostly for the Silver Surfer because you kind of
He's supposedly going to show up in Guardians 3.
yeah. Well, it's fine. Like the thing is that historically speaking, you kind of have to introduce Silver Surfer with Fantastic Four, but if they're
Yeah.
going to do it a different way,
Yeah.
I want to see Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
which
oh,
I'm
so do I.
still, the only reason why Falcon and the Winter Soldier isn't a 10 out of 10 for me is because they so fucking easily could have added Doom.
Yeah.
Not even just
We're
like,
going to Latveria
Yeah.
instead of Latvia or wherever.
yeah,
the fuck.
Latvia, which is a real country,
But Latveria, though.
but like go to just do it. And then just say like, oh, what about Von Doom? Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
right.
blah. Like, just like you could have done it, but instead you chickened out.
Yeah, and they
'Cause
had
that's-
fucking Baron Zemo there, who is royalty. So if
Yeah.
anyone would know Doom, it's fucking Zemo.
Yeah.
Like
He
he could have been like, I'm going to see my old friend Von Doom, and then like not shown him at all,
you
but
didn't
like
have
that's
to
where
show him,
Zemo's
but
going.
you could have mentioned him. But the thing is that, and this is something that I'm really excited about with No Way Home, but I'm also nervous about with No Way Home, is that the MCU has what I like to call the sitcom syndrome.
Yeah.
Is go back to the status quo by the end of the episode.
Oh no.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna ruin it.
I know that you know things,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Yeah.
So like my thing is
Fair
that
enough.
if they need to change the status quo. Shit
Oh.
needs to move forward in the MCU
Yes.
if they're going to stand a chance moving forward.
And
Because if everything's just going to go back to its neat little bow and Poochie went back to
Oh,
his
yeah.
home world and Bart's back in school after being expelled and Peter Griffin's working back at the brewery. Like if it's the same shit again, it's going to hurt the
Yeah.
MCU as a
Well,
whole.
I think it started to change at the end of Endgame with Tony's death.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people expected them to bring Tony back somehow. I knew they weren't going to. I think a lot of like hardcore fans knew.
Robert Downey Jr. is like in his
He's
50s.
like, yeah, he's
like,
fucking done.
He's like, dude, I've made like $100 billion and I'm tired.
I'm probably the richest actor in the world right now.
Yeah.
Stop. But no.
Well, and also like people don't understand like how much of a physical like
oh yeah.
task.
Even if you have stunt like performance and stuff, they can't do all the like minute stuff like when you roll on the ground and shit like that. Like even
Yeah.
it's just like to set up a next frame where you pop up real quick and he has to do that. And like you said, I fell coming out of my house the other day and it took me like 2 hours to recover.
You're like-
I'm 30.
you're like that.
Yeah,
that for,
basically,
like,
I was going
20
to work
minutes.
just rubbing my wrist, going, ooh. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I think it started setting up that the status quo is going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, I think No Way Home is going to start that. Multiverse of Madness is going to cement it, and I think every movie going forward is going to change the MCU immensely. I haven't seen Eternals yet, but
I haven't either, but
I've
and I
heard
don't
that they
really have a
kind of
whole
set
lot
up
interest into
Galactus.
it.
Yeah, I do and I don't. I'm just going to wait for it to come on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
watch it.
that's kind of where I'm thinking.
I
too.
wasn't going to go pay money to see it in theaters.
It just looks bland to me. Like
yeah.
I'm sorry, like I really love the diversity and stuff. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah, so
really
do I.
really awesome. It's just it's a shame that all that diversity is just wrapped
Who's
in a bland pile of crap.
Pakistan actor. He plays Kingo in the movie.
Yeah,
though.
I
that
can't
guy's
remember
hilarious. I can't remember his name off the top of my
he's
head.
really good though.
So we got sidetracked hard off of
Hard.
news, but that's okay. So let's move on to our next topic, which is top 5 movie soundtracks. Yay!
We should really practice these before.
Oh yeah, we should. I don't know what I did, but I liked what you were doing.
Thanks. All right, so I'm really excited about this because low key, I love soundtracks.
I
for
cheated
films.
on mine a little bit, but yes, so do I.
Everyone's all like, "Well, it's not real music." Fuck you. It's some of the best.
Oh, did you do
music.
scores? I
Yeah.
did not.
I did scores.
Okay, but
Okay.
still, nonetheless, Yeah, I can see it.
I love it. So I'll let you go first, Lucas.
Okay. My number 5 is Guardians Volume 1 and 2.
Basic.
Basic as fuck. I
I knew
know,
it was
but
coming.
just fucking. You can't tell me that beginning scene with Peter Quill going to steal the Power Stone, being like, "Hey, hey, what's the matter with you?" like it's so catchy. And then Yondu's fucking funeral with one of my favorite Cat Stevens songs, "Father and Son." Like,
Yeah.
but I don't have to praise it too much. Everyone knows how fucking good it is.
Yeah.
My dad bought the first Volume 1 album on vinyl so he could listen to it. He's like, it's just a collection of good tracks. I don't even really like the movie.
That's the most your dad thing I've ever heard,
Right?
other than other stuff. But
Yeah, other than drug abuse and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, we ain't gonna get into that right now. Lucas has massive trauma.
so my first is the first Halloween soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just, I mean, if nothing else, with the like iconic.
Oh yeah.
And John Carpenter is one of my low key heroes. I love John Carpenter because this dude literally. Okay, I'm going to talk about John Carpenter for a second. He started making movies. Did the soundtracks to most of his films.
Even if they were simple shit like
Yeah.
that, but yes. Iconic.
And he ended up making a bunch of really good movies.
Oh yeah.
And then a few movies that the studio fucked with, and he said, I am tired of making movies. I'm tired of the bullshit. So at 59, started a band with his kid, and now that's what he does. He tours. He became a rock star at 63.
You go, John Carpenter.
Yeah, he just
with your
decided.
weird mustache.
He decided in his late 50s that he was going to change his career. And then he just did it, and now, because with they're not the newest one, but the 2018 Halloween movie,
yeah.
they were like, we want you to be a part of it. He's like, I'm not directing it, but I will do the soundtrack with
he's
my
like,
band.
Yeah, me and my band will play.
Which I'm like, that, me and Lucas, we're in a band, don't want to go too much into it. But that's the most, if you're in a band and people are like, hey, will you do a thing? Hey, could my band play the after show? That's the most, basic, and he is,
Yeah, I'll star in your film, but my band's gonna play the entire soundtrack.
It's just charming. But Halloween, great soundtrack.
I agree. Could you imagine though, just quick sidebar, if an actor was like, yeah, I'll do the movie, but we're gonna do the soundtrack, and the director was like, well, we have these certain songs from popular artists we're gonna use. And he's like, don't worry, we're gonna cover all of them. It's just really shitty covers. All right. I feel dumb for doing this.
Yeah, you know what? But it's gonna give different tastes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So my next one is part of the score as well. Is the Steven Universe movie soundtrack?
Okay.
It is a fucking bop and a half. If nobody out there is a fan of Steven Universe, a lot of comic book fans enjoy it. I know for sure. It does get a little bit too. I hate to say it like this, but this is the only way I can. It gets a little too PC for some people, but I don't mind that at all. It's an amazing storyline, but the movie soundtrack is so choral, operatic. Fucking, it sounds like you're going to an actual musical or something.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love musicals, so it just hits me hard, and there's multiple times that I've cried during, while listening to it.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So my number 4 is, so the next 3, I'll admit, are all series.
Yeah.
Because it was the same music in all the movies.
Yeah.
With the exception of number 3, because it had different, and I will get specifics into number 3 in a minute. But my number 4, The Matrix soundtrack.
Okay.
A big thing I love about soundtracks is when they fit the film.
Yes.
And there was obviously there was the Rage Against the Machine song on the first Matrix thing, and it was Wake Up. It was a good one. But it was a lot of just that eerie, robotic.
Oh yeah, wasn't there a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Theremin in the
Yeah.
Matrix, just subtle theremin.
A lot of electronic symphony
that's what I'm
stuff
saying,
too.
yeah.
It fit the film really well. It
Oh,
fit
yeah.
the tone of it, and it just sounds cool. And it's a lot of people use the term dated as a bad thing. I think dated could be a really good thing.
Oh yeah, if it captures an era completely.
If it captures the moment, yeah.
Exactly.
If it's just bland, but it's not bland. And I don't know. I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, I agree. My number 3 does fit the movie entirely though. It set up the whole tone of the movie. It's Juno's soundtrack. Have you ever watched Juno?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Elliot Page. Yeah, so it's There's something about it. They use this girl. I can't remember her name off. It's like Kimbra or Kimia or something like that. I think
Yeah.
the last name's Dawson or something like that. I can't remember. Like I said, but she did all of like the transitioning tracks and stuff for the film as well. So like, I don't know if you remember Juno too well, but like when it'd be like fall, summer, and stuff like that, she like actually came back and like even though she hadn't recorded a new album in like 6 years, she came back and like fit like accompanying pieces to it, and it's just really good. I mean, it's got fucking Sonic Youth is on there, Martha Hoople's on there, like it's just a killer soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, it sets up the whole tone of the movie. What's your number 2?
My number 3,
Oh, number 3. I went first. That's right.
the Harry Potter films.
Yes.
Specifically 1, 2, and 3 when done by John Williams.
Yes.
I mean, I could have done my top 5 John Williams soundtracks. Like,
So
let's
could
be
I.
real.
Yeah, like
He's a brilliant master.
Right up there with Ungo Bungo or whatever.
Get out of my house.
Get out of here.
I was like, Oingo Boingo, I think. is how you say
Boinga
it.
boinga.
I don't like Danny Elfman that much. But they just, it's iconic.
Yeah.
Do 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 down, a lot of wah pedal, all of a sudden. But no, I just think it fits the tone
Oh yeah.
really well, and it's just fucking good music.
And it gives you chills
It
and
gives
stuff.
you
Like
chills,
the score
and
is so
it
good in that
you know
film.
makes your heart melt in times. John Williams is a master of his art.
He
form,
really
and-
is.
and I'm a fan.
All right, so my number 2 is a movie that I ostracized Mike for not seeing yet. Is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So in the movie, most of it, the soundtrack is original music because in the movie Scott's in a punk band called Sex Bomb, and yeah, see, you need to watch this movie. And like, there's 2 or 3 of the ex-boyfriend battles that because he has to fight the 7 evil exes that he's like. There's like a bass battle and stuff, and it's just like it's a hardcore like punk rock crust punk vibe. And I love it so fucking much. You can take a ride in my garbage truck, Mike. Don't you worry.
Hell yeah.
He doesn't get the reference. But
I
I'm gonna-
don't.
I'm
One
gonna
day.
do some stuff later.
My number 2, going back to John Williams,
Fair
the
enough.
Star Wars soundtracks.
Oh yeah, of
all
course.
of them.
All of
There's just all of them are great. That's the one constant about Star Wars. All of them are great soundtracks. Like you might even Attack of the Clones had great music.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just got lost in my head for a second hearing Duel of the Fates.
That was again. Everyone doesn't. People forget.
Zoom. That was the 2 lightsaber hats
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
People forget that one was from Phantom Menace. That's when
so
that was
good.
introduced. And then the love theme.
Oh
in,
yeah.
In Attack of the Clones.
Oh, when they're on like the beach and he doesn't like sand.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, it's still
you know,
an amazing theme.
Yeah, it's just good stuff.
Oh god, I got really, really excited about Duels of the Fate for a second.
Yeah.
Just that battle with Darth Maul.
Although here's an idea that they didn't think about. Why didn't they all just start shooting at Darth Maul?
I don't fucking
Like
know.
they were all standing there.
Are you talking about on the desert planet when he shows up?
No, I'm talking about like right before the final battle.
Oh, yeah,
and they're
yeah,
all just
yeah.
standing there, like an army is just standing there, and they're like, "We'll go around and let you two just do it." And he's just standing there. He didn't even unlock, like, turn on his lightsaber yet.
Isn't it Liam Neeson that's like go around?
Yeah, it's like leave.
I think it's because he's supposed to be a Sith Lord.
I
It's
think
the
it's
first Sith Lord
I
in
think
1,000
it's because
years.
Qui-Gon Jinn is supposed to be famous for making nothing but bad decisions the entire
Listen
fucking
here.
movie.
No, listen.
Everything he did
would've-
was wrong.
Anakin would have turned out fine if Qui-Gon was around because he was one of the old Jedi, so
Yeah.
he knew about like you do have to have some kind of love and compassion for other people and stuff. You don't have to be a mindless fucking robot. Obi-Wan, no.
Yeah, but you know what else?
What?
He's also really stupid
And got cut in
throughout
half.
the whole movie.
Oh, no, he didn't
No,
get
he
cut.
got stabbed in the gut.
Once again, also, Space Age, how do they not have the medicine to fix that? They could fix Darth Maul's legs, but they can't fix Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon Jinn getting stabbed in the gut.
It's not even his legs like
What?
getting cut off. It was the fact that he fell like 100,000 feet.
No, Jedis
Down-
are known to fall from great heights and live, though.
Yeah, but you know,
That's a Samuel L. Jackson quote when he was trying to explain how Mace Windu was alive.
yeah,
Yeah,
fucking,
which he is canonically because George Lucas confirmed it. He can
Oh,
he
I
said,
don't care. About
yeah, he
this
straight up he
anymore.
goes, yeah, you can be alive.
Sure, I don't care. I'm tired of getting shit.
I
for
have
making bad
some
movies.
honorable mentions.
I do
next.
too. I'll let you go first.
My honorable mentions are Prince of Egypt.
Damn it, that's gonna be one of mine.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, man.
Now I kind of regret. I kind of forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Ugh. It's so fucking good, man.
It's
like,
so good.
I've been trying
that
to
probably cracks my top 5.
Yeah.
If I thought about it, that probably edges a Halloween out.
Right.
Maybe even Matrix. That
It was
really
between. Well, I didn't know if we were, like I said, I didn't know if we were doing scores or soundtracks.
Yeah.
But just I've been trying to get my wife to watch it forever, and because as a fan of animation, it's just
It's
so
brilliant.
mind blowing. It was DreamWorks' first film.
And
a lot of people don't know
the
that. But
balls to make that film.
fuck yeah.
Because like the thing is that DreamWorks was like, we're gonna make our first film a fucking biblical epic.
The scene where they have to paint the goat's blood above the fucking
Yeah.
door, that haunts me still.
Yeah.
Like I have nightmares. The fucking like wisp going around just fucking
And I'm saying
killing babies.
They did a better job than the stupid Charlton Heston film, which is not only
Yeah.
eight and a half hours long, and it also like just makes Ramses this completely one-dimensional. The Jews
no,
will be my
there was
slave.
true conflict there. That was his fucking brother.
Yeah, they
Ugh.
actually. And the thing is that in the story, he's all like, he's like, I can't just let him go because I'm the Pharaoh. I gotta have respect. And
Oh, yeah.
and it's like this weird, like,
I will undo what my father had
Yeah.
done. Like inside, it's so good, man.
It
and
is
he's supposed to
good.
be the God King Ramses.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So then after that, I only have 3 this week. So Prince of Egypt. Then I got Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, obviously,
Really good.
You could choose any fucking Disney soundtrack and it'd
Yeah.
nail it. But Hunchback just has a fucking. Anytime I hear that,
epic.
yeah, that Viata Maria. I'm like, oh, yep, I'm gonna be a righteous man for this fucking
Yeah.
song. All right. And then third honorable mention is Zombieland, which.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's got a subtle soundtrack. There's a lot of original music and stuff on there from like the score of the film where they use a lot of guitars and stuff. But they have this song on there called Two of the Lucky Ones. And it's actually like one of me and my wife's songs. But like that's where I heard that for me to show it to her was Zombieland. And it's just such a good. The band name for that song though is fucking weird. It's the Druge and Summers Blend. And I'm like, all right.
That's cool.
What? Yeah, you go with you. So do you want to do your honorable mentions?
I'll do
before I
my
number
honorable
one?
mentions. Yeah, first. My first is Interstellar.
Yes. Yes, phenomenal.
Just
That's
great
Hans Zimmerman,
atmospheric.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so good.
My next is Blade Runner. Very subtle.
Yeah, very subtle.
And Blade Runner 2049's got a really good one too. But the first Blade Runner is.
It's got a lot of subtle like synth string
Yeah.
and stuff. It's
And the music during the Tears and Rain speech,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
greatest moments in film history, is that,
beautiful.
yeah, and fucking the guy, the actor, just basically winged it.
Harrison Ford.
No, the other guy, the guy who played the android.
Oh yeah.
Whose name? He's a brilliant actor. He died last year or something like that. Brilliant. But my number 3, I have 2 more. Birdman. Or the Unexpected.
yes.
It's basically just like jazz drums.
Oh, yeah.
But it really captures like that whole movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's one of the greatest movies ever
The
made.
music during his fucking breakdown.
Yeah, like because the whole movie is him on the verge of a meltdown until the climax when he melts down and then fucking, I mean, spoiler alert, shoots his nose off on fucking stage.
Yep.
It's just, it's
And then
brilliant.
He flies.
And then he flies. And then my last, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, okay.
Classic, just kind of like New York style, smooth, old jazz.
I always think of when he walks into the bar to meet Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
And you hear that low trombone just like.
Yeah, it's just
It's
classic
like, ugh.
noir like thing, which that's another one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, I love noir in general.
Yeah.
And I wish it could make a comeback. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's there. But anyways, what's your number? Your number 1, Jack?
This is where I was like, who the fuck is Jack Nicholson? No.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, no. This is where I say I cheated, kind of. My number 1 pick, and I planned on doing this at the end of the year too, where we did like the top 5 movies of 2021, and this was going to be my number 1 pick for that as well. But I don't know if I'm going to do that, if I'm being honest. It's Inside by Bo Burnham.
Okay.
I know it's not necessarily even a soundtrack. It's more of its own thing entirely. But I think when he released it, we were just coming out of the first wave of the pandemic, really.
Yeah.
Like the big one. And it just encapsulated how America felt, especially millennials and what we had to fucking go through during it. It just encapsulated all that. Plus, as you know, one of my best friends died like right before it came out. So it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
So that's my number 1, man. Inside. I mean, even like when he's doing his comedy bits and there's just like subtle music in the background, Bo Burnham has just stepped it up a level with not just directing, but also his musical composition. And I don't think you've actually seen it yet.
No,
But
I've
you-
seen like parts of it.
Yeah,
but-
you should definitely watch it.
So my number one favorite soundtrack of all time, the Terminator, the first Terminator
Yes.
soundtrack. Now I want to make it clear, I do not really care for the subsequent Terminator sequels when, like the soundtrack specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
When they're like, because like the thing I love about it, Brad Fidel, who did it,
Okay.
the thing that was brilliant is like you know, like the do 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 that, like, and it's like dun 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 dun, like
Dun, 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 dun.
but like the thing is that when you listen to the original, the whole backing of the song,
Like,
it's
builds
just
up.
like it's just metal banging on stuff because
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, because then they were like, well, you know, we need to make it epic because we're making
Oh,
a
yeah.
real movie.
And
So
it's a
like
robot.
in the second one, they were like, we're gonna have symphonies and it's ba 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 ba. But I'm like, that was never the point.
No, it
it
was
was
the
just really
simplicity.
subtle.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that the first Terminator films about Sarah Connor and about Kyle Reese.
Yes.
The rest of the Terminator films are about the Terminator, which makes it worse, in my opinion. But like that do 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 do, it's this very sad yet oddly
Are you
hopeful.
talking about the melody that's
Yeah.
when she's driving at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
And then the love theme
Yes.
during which is basically just a reprise of it, but it's on the piano and it's just it's this. I cry every time I hear it because it's
I love a good piano reprise.
yeah. Because like the
so
thing is
good.
the whole song it's them during the sex scene, but
Yeah.
it's a love scene because it's like these two characters that are like in the midst of this darkness. Because even if they survive the Terminator, Skynet's coming, like, and the world's going down, but they found love in this dark abyss, and it's just a beautiful thing, and they really
Oh, yeah.
captured it. That movie does not get the love it deserves. It is, in my opinion, one of the greatest films ever made.
James
It's-
Cameron, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
he knows how to write a love story, even
he-
if he's
yeah.
a like piece of shit in real life.
yeah,
he
he's
still
like
knows
been
how to-
married like 127 times. I still love Mike
All-
Stokowska. You know,
Yeah.
who knows love better than the guy who's been married 8 times?
Right.
He must really know about it.
Listen, that anytime that you talk about the Terminator films, all I think about with like Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor is Kyle had some fucking game to pull her while wearing a homeless man's clothes. Like,
Yeah,
all right, so before we move on to the next topic, me and Mike are going to try something a little new. I'm going to pick a fictional character. He's going to pick a fictional character. We're going to try to match them up against each other, and it may work. It may not, because we're kind of doing this on the fly right now.
hell yeah.
And if it doesn't, we'll end it. Don't worry. It's not going to get awkward. All right, so my character is Ben Tennyson from Ben 10 Alien Force, the second sequel series,
yeah,
specifically. And Mike, who's your character?
Spawn.
Spawn. The hell Spawn?
I'm
I'm an ice cream man, and I touch kids.
Someone's gonna. If anybody ever hates you,
Yeah, they're just going to
They're
sample
gonna-
that.
they're gonna
Just
get
be
that.
like, Lucas Harwell admits he touches kids
as an ice cream man.
as an ice cream, dressed as an ice cream man. He's John Wayne Gacy.
So yeah. So man, this is a really good one.
I agree.
Because I think Spawn has a really good chance. So I'm gonna make my case first.
Yes, please.
Spawn is an incredibly powerful character. I think the things he has over Ben is one, his experience as
Yes.
Al Simmons prior to becoming Spawn. You know, he was a fucking mercenary. Like he was like really well equipped at taking care of problems there.
Right?
But then, you know, so he has access to his guns, he has access to his military experience. Couple that with the ectoplasm or the nectroplasm. Blah, 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 blah. His super strength, his cape, which can have a mind of its own. The thing with Ben too is that he doesn't. Well, I think Ben has more of a versatile power sets.
Yes.
He can only access one at a time, where Spawn has control over all of his powers all at once. Honestly, the only way that I think Ben even stands a chance is if he makes, because Spawn's gonna have to use the nectoplasm, which would basically, if he runs out of it, he goes back to hell and essentially loses. But I think that he would be able to, with his experience, his military experience, I think he's got a really good shot.
I do too. Here's why I would think that Ben would probably win. I'm going to use just 3 from this. So 3 from Alien Force, like I said. So I'm going to start with. He would probably have to start with Big Chill. Do you know who Big Chill is? Have you? I know you're not.
I've
very
seen
much.
like very little of.
Okay,
the
Big
show,
Chill
to be
is like a moth humanoid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who can freeze things as well. So this is, like I said, his strategy would probably be best. The reason I chose Alien Force 2 is because he has more experience than original Ben 10. And his strategy would have to be to free spawn and outrun him for a little bit. Like you said, he has to use up that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then being able to switch between his powers also comes into play with Alien Force. He still can only hold them for about 2 to 3 hours, though. So he has to finish this battle quick if he wants to win.
Yeah.
So then he's going to go to Humongosaur, who's basically just a dinosaur on steroids. And if Humongosaur's brute force and natural scaled armor isn't enough to match Spawn pound for pound, then obviously whip out Alien X. Because Alien X can create and destroy universes at the touch of a fucking...
However, Spawn does have access to extra-dimensional power. I mean,
that's true.
You know, because he's not... His power comes from hell, which is not of Earth.
No, it's a plane of its own existence.
Yeah, so it's possible that Alien X's powers would be...
Null and void?
Yeah.
See, now that I'm thinking that, though, since it's an extraterrestrial plane of existence, technically, would Ben be able to take the form of, like, Satan or anything? Because if he gets a chance to get the DNA of that being, then he can transform into him. All he has to do is get, like, the Annihilator or somebody, right?
Yeah.
Get their DNA, then he can become an Annihilator.
Yeah, well, and that's a good point. And that's the thing that's going to really make Spawn struggle is... Because if he were to take like Malboja,
yeah, right.
Malboja has the ability. It's hard because it kind of depends on.
It's a what if
part of the story, but Malboja at least theoretically has the power to be able to take away the Hellspawn.
Oh yeah, at any time.
At any time, which would theoretically mean Ben could.
If he could become Malboja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd say this is a pretty even match.
It's a pretty even match. I'd like to see this one.
I do too.
I'd like to see this one.
If anyone out there animates probably better than I do, considering I only do timing direction, go animate this because it sounds amazing. And there's a swarm of aliens that I could think would actually do really well against Spawn, but I chose those 3, like I said, because Big Chill could slow him down.
Yeah.
Humongosaur could probably take the brunt of the force.
Really tank.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Alien X is the last call. All right. So moving on. We're back to casting MCU actors as DC characters this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to try to do this with like one DC film an episode until we run out of them or just don't feel like doing it anymore. So we're doing Wonder Woman this week, and I have the shortest cast list ever because I don't know Wonder Woman that well.
Yeah. I know Wonder Woman better than you, but...
That is true.
A lot of Wonder Woman's characters, like in comics, at least in the last like several years,
yes,
have kind of been like one-offs. Like she doesn't have a great like classic rogues gallery in the same way.
No, and she has like the smallest supporting cast fucking ever. Like I can think of like 2 people off the top of my head that's in her supporting cast.
Yeah. So hit it with me, Johnny.
Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and do my Wonder Woman first. I chose Tessa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she fits the part.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Not that really plays into it,
but
Diana is described as a beautiful
supposed to
woman.
be like, you know, the Amazons are supposed to be like
gorgeous
perfect.
women. Yeah, exactly. And I just think that she also has the fitness about her to pull it off.
She has the size.
Exactly. And let's face it, Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman. I'm not going to shit on her for that, actually. She did very well. But I think that bringing the snarky humor of Valkyrie to Wonder Woman as well would be an amazing choice.
So I chose Gemma Chan.
Who's that?
She's in the Eternals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was also in Captain Marvel as one of the aliens, but it was like a really bit part. And she was in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think she would do really well. She was also in Crazy Rich Asians.
I've only seen a little bit of that.
I haven't ever seen it.
Yeah.
Because I remember coming out of the theater once and seeing a like ad for Crazy Rich Asians, and I was like, what the hell is this? I got so excited. I was like, what is this real? Like, I thought they were fucking with me. But yeah,
Fair enough.
I think she's got the size. She's obviously very beautiful.
Oh, yes.
I'd be into it.
All right. I next chose Athena. I think that's who it is. It's either Athena or Thera or something like that. That's her mom.
Wonder Woman's mommy.
Yeah, her mom in quotations because I don't think it's actually her mom, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
I chose Scarlett Johansson because they're supposed to like remain young.
Yeah.
So like,
I went in a different way with Scarlett Johansson. She is in this, but I went in a different way.
I'm going to be honest. Scarlett Johansson's a wonderful actress.
Yeah,
she
very good.
She was very bland at times with Black Widow. That said, she also had a lot of good moments as well with Black Widow. And I just would like to see her in a more Shakespearean style role, if I'm being honest.
Give her something more interesting.
Exactly.
I chose Wonder Woman's mom. I chose Angelina Jolie.
Oh, heck yeah.
Again, just, get the classic actress. She still looks like younger.
Oh, yeah.
Too, so yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that other than that.
Next is my villain, which is Ares. I just kind of went off the first Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
To be honest. Originally I chose what is his name? Martin Freeman. Because I wanted to choose like a mousy actor like they did for their but I chose Alfred Molina.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be a sinister fucking Ares. He wouldn't even have to do much either. Like he would be, because we know he's a great villain, and he can be a villain that you hate to love, like he does with Doc Ock, where like you see his point of view.
Yeah.
So I just think he would be a much better Ares than Remus Lupin.
So I actually chose two villains.
Oh, okay.
My main villain is Circe, which is one of her.
Wait, I also chose Cersei.
Oh well, I chose Kate Blanchett, who was the villain in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. Yes. Hela,
yeah. And then I chose my Giganta, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think, Giganta's kind of been portrayed a lot as like the big dumb brute, but she's actually like a scientist, like historically. And I think she's like a very sympathetic villain. And is at times even more like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
She's done a lot with the Suicide Squad and stuff, if I recall right.
I think so too, yeah.
I just think Scarlett Johansson would be,
a good fit for
a
it.
good fit for her.
I do too. So I'm going to do my Cersei next. I figured it would probably be like a setup for the sequel when she came in, you know what I mean? I chose Zendaya.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking like, because I've always seen her in like any role of hers I've ever seen. She's either like a love interest or a good character. And actually, MJ in the MCU is one of my favorite roles that she's ever done, at least that I've seen, just because it seems more natural for her. You know what I mean? Like she seems like a natural actress with it. But I would love to see her play a villain. I think she would have the goal for it, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah. So I'm just gonna bang out my next two because these are the last two. I
have one more.
Steve Trevor and Adana Troy.
Okay.
My Steve Trevor, I picked Chris Pratt.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be real. I'm not the biggest Chris Pratt fan. He's fine. I'm just not the biggest Chris Pratt fan.
It's me, Mario.
But I do think he would be pretty good as a
too.
Steve Trevor, a more modern one. And then my Donna Troy, I picked Laura Harrier, who played the love interest in Homecoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you wanted to know her name was. He was like, that one chick from Homecoming, and I was like, Liz Allen?
Yeah, Liz, the actress who played Liz Allen, Laura Harrier. I think she's a really good actress.
My bad. Liz Allen Toombs, because Adrian Toombs is her dad. Spoilers for a movie that came out 5 years ago almost.
How was that? Yeah, I think she'd be really good. Plus, I think she'd be a good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot my Donna Troy and my Steve, too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Do those two, and then we'll move on.
My Steve was Chris Hemsworth. I'm not going to lie. I basically just chose like a pretty boy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where else to put him in the DC universe. And then my Donna Troy is also from No Way Home. She's probably going to be in No Way Home. But also from Homecoming. It is Andrew, I don't know how to say her name. Andrew or Angourie Rice. It's the chick that plays Betty Brant.
Okay. Not the worst.
No. I think that she would be quirky and stuff, and I think she would play well of a superhero who's just now like figuring out how to be a superhero. All right, so before we finish tonight, we're going to talk two things real quick, Mike.
Do it.
What's your expectations for No Way Home? We have tickets. I bought us 2 tickets. Well, actually 3 tickets because we're taking someone else. But I bought us tickets. We're going to go see it at 2:45 p.m. on opening day.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm actually excited. A lot of people were like, "Oh, why didn't you want to go to opening night?" And stuff. It's like, well, one, all those tickets were sold out.
Yeah.
And two, I'm going to get to see it about 7 hours before everybody else. So
Yeah.
fair enough.
So I expect it to really shake things up. I don't expect to see, like the X-Men and all that shit.
That is
like,
a huge theory right now, is that they're going to show up at the end, and that a lot of people
I
are
could
going
see them
off.
as like an after credits thing,
Well,
but
people are saying, when Doctor Strange in the trailer is like, they're coming through and I can't stop them. People are like, oh, Professor X and Wolverine are going to walk through the rift. And it's like, no, they're fucking not. Maybe Kang.
Yeah. I actually think we're going to see more Fantastic Four, because the guy who's directing No Way Home is
John
also
Watts?
going to, John Watts is also going to be directing the Fantastic Four film.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like little Easter eggs in the trailer.
And in Far From Home, the post-credit scene in that, when he's like, oh, like right before his identity gets revealed, there's this thing, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I've told you.
Yeah.
And it's like talking about what's to come.
Yeah.
I think, and you see him fly through like the old Stark Tower as well.
Yeah, it's
going to
be the Baxter
I think it's
building.
going to be the Baxter building.
I actually think it's more likely we're going to see a Fantastic Four. I'm kind of holding out hope that we're going to get an after credit scene of Doom. We're not. I'd like to, but but
I saw my face when he said that. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know a lot about the movie.
I really just want things to move forward.
Yeah, so do I.
And that's a big thing for me.
I'm expecting this to be, just from what I know, and without spoiling anything, I think this is going to be that moment, kind of like Spider-Man 2, or even if you're a fan of the comics, like any moment where Peter gets his fucking ass handed to him, and at the end of the day, it doesn't go back to the status quo, like you were talking about. He's going to go through the most pain he's ever experienced in his life in this movie, like emotionally, probably physically. And I'm very excited to see it. I think we're going into because as you know, I didn't mention this news because I wanted to mention it in this segment, is that Tom Holland has confirmed 3 more Spider-Man films, like solo films. So I think we're entering the darker age of Spider-Man, which is my favorite personally. His college years, when he's getting into adulthood.
His college years and like his early life. Like 20s.
Like right after he lost Gwen Stacy is really where, like in the comics. But I'm very, very excited to see this. I'm kind of sad that I've spoiled a lot of the movie, but at the same time, I'm ready to see it play out.
And one thing I'm hoping that we get some teases for some other Spider-Man. I'd like to see a tease for like a Miles Morales. And you know what? Fuck it. I'd like to see a tease for Ben Reilly.
So would I.
Ben Reilly is okay. The Clone Saga. I know. But Ben Reilly was a cool thing to come out of that. His Spider-Man costume was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
So good with the hoodie.
I'd like to see more Spider-Man, because that's a huge thing in the comics.
Yeah, Spider-Verse is huge.
Spider-Man is no longer like Spider-Man has become a lot like the Flash or Green Lantern and stuff, where it's not just Spider-Man, it's the Spider family. It's just animals. Yeah. I like that about comics. It makes it more interesting. It makes it feel more real.
And that's going to bring me up to the second thing I want to talk about before we end today. Have you watched the trailer I sent you yesterday? The first look of Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Yes, Across the Spider-Verse. It looks like Miguel O'Hara is beating the shit out of Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And there's, in that little clip that they showed, there's evidence of 2 new Spider people showing up. And that is India Spider-Man. If you've never seen that, I suggest going to YouTube and watching it. It's hilarious. I mean, he just fucking is like Spider-Man and jumps on a fucking motorcycle and just drives away. And Japanese Spider-Man,
which is my favorite,
one of my favorite fucking Spider-Man of all time. But this also brings up that guys, I'm gearing up. I'm not going to spoil anything. I do know quite more than what I'm about to say, is that they're gearing up for a huge live-action Spider-Verse. I'm talking. I want to believe that Tobey's going to come back again, but I don't think he is. But I think Andrew is. There's a lot of things saying that he's signed up for at least 2 more movies, like reprising his role as Spider-Man. And they're also setting up for a live-action Miles Morales as well.
Hell yeah.
And I think they could actually cross over the animated Spider-Verse movies and the live-action ones very well if they did it right. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm very excited. We've got a lot of shit coming for Spider-Man fans this next year. We're 2 episodes away from our Spider-Man No Way Home review, which I can't believe considering in August. It's been since August that I've been bombarding Mike with like theories and
I'm
fucking
so ready
everything.
for this fucking movie.
He's just ready for me to shut the fuck up about it.
Nah, like I'm ready for it. I think I'm ready to be excited about an MCU movie again. Because
So
like
that's
the thing
exactly
is
what I
that
was
like
feeling.
she looks good, but I wasn't like I'm like, yeah, you know, cool. Eternals. I'm like, all right, whatever. But like this is like an event thing.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
ready for it to be an event again.
And to experience that event. I remember when I saw Endgame in theaters. Like,
I saw it 3 times in theaters.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
see,
only
I
paid
almost
for it
bought, I'm not
once,
gonna lie.
so-
I almost bought us tickets to go see a second showing for No Way Home same day, so we could go twice.
Yeah.
But I went and saw it twice in theaters. But the first time I saw it in theaters, like, I remember when Cap picked up the hammer, fucking like the whole theater was like, "Rah!" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to experience that again. Like when Alfred Molina, even though we all know he's in it, I guarantee when he shows up on screen for that first time,
It's
we're all
gonna be
like, "Fuck
an
yeah!"
event. Yeah.
And you know when Schmoby Schmickgeyer and Schmandrew Schmarfield show up, everyone's gonna fucking yell. It's gonna be amazing. I think in those types of events, those are the ones that you want to experience in the theater.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm just excited to be excited for a Marvel movie again, which I was excited for WandaVision. Yes, I was excited for Falcon
Yeah.
and the Winter Soldier.
but those are different.
Exactly,
Those
those
are
are
TV
different.
shows, you know, and
And I am excited for Hawkeye now. I think it's getting good now.
yeah.
But nothing has captured that kind of feeling like this has.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the best Spider-Man movie of all time.
Here's to it.
Here's to it. All right. You got anything else to add?
I think I'm good, Jack.
Why do you keep calling me Jack?
Don't worry about it, Fred.
You guys can't see it, but I just zoned the fuck out. All right, party people. We will see you next time. Possibly in a video. Bye.
Bye. All right, Fred.